Yo, how's it going there, folks? Welcome back to the wonderful world that is Etheria. How are you doing today? I'm currently here on Ancient Ruins here. We're just chilling and vibing. Thought I'd bring you guys a little video and just to kind of go over obviously what everybody seems to be having a little bit of an issue with right now, which is the dragon's nest. Now, obviously, please do keep in mind that most of my gear is kind of topped off, so you're gonna have to tweak and figure out where you're lacking in your DPS, as you will, for your specific build. If you feel as though that your dragons are missing out on some damage, the best thing you could probably do is take out this Dragon's Haste, in either a Vampiric Empowerment, or go with a Power Transfer, something along those lines. This is my current setup: Anti-Chaos, and Melee, Defense Rate, Dragon's Haste, Destruction, Mass, Destruction. And I'm just kind of going to quickly spam out a quick little build here, like so. Going to get a buff beam in, and mosey on over, and we are going to slam down a reflect whip, run on over here. Now, this is usually a lane that I would actually put the big mama in here. I'm still going to do so because this is just how I would normally do this build, especially on this map. Can I squeeze that in there? Yes, I can. I'm going to put, I don't know, three of them here, I suppose. Try and fit in that buff beam more appropriately, like I saw. Get the good old reflect beam down, mosey on down over here. Tummy, boost, nah. Get in the stuffs and the things. Wait for that to go, and there we go, pretty much. So I'm just gonna let it go, let it flow, and we'll pay attention more to this left hand side lane here, and I will basically just pay attention to this wall right here, because I mean, you kind of saw it there. The Chief usually used to proc halfway through this lane before actually proccing his ability, but as you can see, the dragons are taking a little bit longer to mash him down before he procs his ability, which isn't actually that bad. It just means that his anti-heal, the anti-heal that's going to proc from the reflect beam, is pretty much going to keep him at low HP, while it's still kind of taking care of everybody in the lane, per se. Yeah, as you can see, we're still standing here, we're still watching, still paying attention here to this dummy over here, and yeah, it's held up. It's still doing its thing. It's still completely fine. Yeah, no issues there whatsoever. Kind of letting it flow, letting it go. A couple of flyers are on the side, but just gonna yeah, it's just kind of get them out of the way. Yeah, as you can see, a pretty decent wave. Pretty decent wave kind of going on. Not too bad at all. I do have a boss skelly kind of coming over here. Usually, obviously, priorities for when you're doing your mana. So we are. I'm going to take these up. Tier 3, that's usually kind of how I like to do it. And I'm just going to mass G again. We're just kind of going to push forward with the wave. Keep it going, keep it flowing. Again, we'll kind of just come chill over here. We'll kind of keep our eyes on this dummy. Yeah, as you can see, like, again, Chief kind of procced as soon as he basically got to the wall. He's kind of standing there mashing on the wall, but as you can see, like, he's pretty much not doing any damage to it whatsoever. Dragons have a nice AoE, so all the mobs that will be walking up to the dummy here will pretty much still be getting beat down, because we do have that massive AoE range that we have with the dragons. With the they just have really good range, to be fair, especially when it comes around to the packs of mobs. But yeah, as you can see, this wall is still doing okay. I mean, it's taken some damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it's taken some damage. The wall's healing up so easily though that it's not really having a problem. Range guys, a few people might end up having a problem with those, but as long as you place your reflect beam properly, they'll end up just taking themselves out anyway with the reflect beam. Any ranged mob that throws a projectile and it gets reflected off of this no longer counts as their projectile, it counts as the player's projectile. So the enemies will start taking damage. So even if mobs are standing here throwing this, even with your, as you saw, like the dragons, just they weren't able to quite get out there with their range. They're still the mobs will still handle themselves as long as you place your reflect beam properly. Got a roller over here. I got the big mam over here, so I'm not really going to worry about it. Just gonna mash G again. Let it keep it going, keep it flowing. We will do the same over here. I know this is not exactly the ideal in a video to be kind of pumping out here, me just kind of standing here watching, but if I don't lift the finger here, and I could actually open this up to have 4 players here, and if I could actually have everybody standing around and not actually doing anything, but that'd be boring for them, you know what I mean? Especially the people that I play with. Everybody that I play with likes to be active and likes to jump around and boop stuff in the face, and you know, they like to have some fun. They like that active gameplay. So yeah, I'm just kind of chilling here. Flyers over there usually aren't a problem. Dragon, big mama dragon will make sure that the lane is taken care of, so the dragons will still have the freedom to take care of the flyers there. I'm going to have to get involved here in a second with this this roller coming up here. I'm going to shoot over here a little bit, see if I can get my stacks up a little. I've only got 4 so far, that's okay. 4 stacks so far, that'll be fine. Don't have my usual right now, but we'll give him a boop in the face. Quibbly doing his thing over here. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going, just keep mashing, just like keep it going. Again, come chill over here and watch this wall. A total of 10 million. We'll just round it up. Got 10 mil over here. We actually don't have a chief straight away from this lane. They'll be more dominant in the other lanes right now. He will eventually come out. There you go, like the second push right there. Still pay attention to this wall right here. As you can see, everything's still fine, still going, still flowing. Chief should be dying roughly about now-ish, I think. Yeah, there he goes, yeah. Dragon still hasn't done anything to participate within this build. As you can, my dragon is what I'm talking about here. My dragon, let's just chill. He hasn't been shooting anything or that while we've been standing here. Hence why I've just kind of been chilling here, just to kind of. I am going to have to come say hello to this guy though. I actually don't have burning strikes on this guy right now, so I'm going to have to get a little. There we go. He's burning. I'll just let dragons finish him off there. Yeah, nice and simple. Simple. Keep it going, keep it flowing. Have any? It doesn't matter what's coming. We'll just. Aha, here we go. This is actually what I was waiting for. It's one of these guys. I would have preferred that if we had something that wasn't actually upgraded. I probably should have had a look at that lane before, and then put these back down. As you can see right now, over on the defences here, my dragon's nests are currently sitting at 1.660. 1.5, just over, a little over 1.5 here. We could see this wall was getting a little bit of a beat down here, but as you can see, it's still doing the job. And there we go, taken care of, no problemo. You might look on the map and be like, oh, there's a worry. No, those flyers are still Still getting dealt with. Oh, doggo! Doggo! Little dog. I'm sorry to say, but you're no match for a mama dragon, unfortunately. Oh, Malthus. Is he gonna get stuck over here, or like, is he actually gonna come on? Or is this gonna be a bad time to have made a video? This guy's just gonna get stuck all the way back there. He's not actually doing anything, is he? He's just kind of chilling. Oh, I think he is actually stuck back there. Damn it! Oh, that's it. Come on, come forward. Come. Move forward, my friend. Move forward. Well, as we can see over here is actually having a little bit of an issue with these hex throwers. At least they're out the lane is the handy thing. Like, they're actually out the lane right now. There's nothing like a little bit of participation here. Like, if in order to speed this up just so this video doesn't take too long, but as you can see there, like I never really had much of a problem there. Again, looking at the tooltip DPS here, you could see like tier 3 we're at 1.6 right now. And let's get a little bit of a boosty boost. I'll lich here as well, because then I'll just maximise my DPS from that distance. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I never really had a problem there. I know that there's been a lot of a lot of uproar with these dragons' nests. I thought I'd come and give y'all a cheeky little video for y'all. The base of my dragon's nest here, as you can see, 1.23 mil with the attack damage of roughly rounded up 400k in here as well. Anybody that's watched any of my previous videos before, we've got the boost aura, we have the buff beam. These are maxed out, both of these. We have a 10 out of 10, maxed out chaos 10. The gear on this particular EV as well is actually maxed out apart from the weapon. It's only 6 out of 10. My monk here, 6 out of 10 mostly across the board. Is just his weapon. So gear score 16,820. I've actually got a higher gear score over here because we are 10 out of 10 here across the board for the gear. The dragons, I actually have room to improve here with these particular dragons, because this is actually just generic gear that I've basically found on the ground all over the place. If you pay attention to the pieces that are actually here, they can actually go pretty high. We go a lot higher than what it is that we have here. The stats are pretty good though, right across the board. We're looking for more here. This particular piece is one that could definitely be improved. If you look at the gear score at the bottom, we're missing at least a good 1,000. Especially and over here, like we see 16,600 here, 16,200, 16 almost 600 here as well. So this piece clearly can have the improvement. The relic itself as well can have an increase to the crit chance too. Sword 6 out of 10 as well. Your shield doesn't actually have any bearing on it, so you can see here that my shield is just a campaign 10 out of 10 here as well. Yeah, still rocking with that dragon chase for that movement speed. Still got destruction, still got the mass destruction. Boost aura. Now my boost aura is mostly set up for utility, as you could see. Basically, you just get the boost aura at the back, make sure it's got as long as it just clips this and no more, so that you can get the buff on it. So that not only are you looking to get the damage protection, it's one of the biggest things that you're looking for over here. But with your boost aura, you should definitely have boosted blockade in here. You make sure that you get your walls nice and healthy, get them as healthy as they possibly can. Health pylon obviously would be something you would have on your reflect beam as well in order to increase that HP. One of the biggest things that a lot of people, I'm not sure if it's going to be a struggle potentially for some people, is well, I'm rocking both of my mass destructions right now. So the mass destruction is sitting over here in the dragons, My other mass destruction is actually sitting here on my buff beam. I know for a fact when people were actually doing these particular builds before, is that they would actually probably end up spamming a set of dragons right here and then have them all buffed and boosted over here, and then potentially they might have actually done the same right up here as well, potentially, in order to have that are set up. Me personally, whenever I was doing it before, I actually used to have the dragons set up right here, is where I used to have them, and I never used to have any walls in this bottom lane either. Just have the dragons up here. The dragons will just basically cover this entire portion here. That's it. It still does work. It still does actually work over here. But I thought I would just do a very generic and basic build right here to let everybody know this is pretty much how the majority of everybody's builds should be going right now. You would have your wall, boost aura, you would have your buff beam, have your reflect beam, and then you would basically just pick your defense of choice. Where would what are you going to use? Well, I'm using dragons, and they're pretty expensive, so I can only afford to really have two of them over here. Well, I'm showing you what it's like for me. I There's some maps that you can only really utilize having two of them here, so I got two of them here just to kind of showcase that. Please do keep in mind, obviously, one of the main things, my buff beam, my boost aura, kind of maxed out a little bit. Yes, I have Ascension. Yes, I have AP and things like that as well. You might need to do a few tweaks and changes to your particular build yourself in order to maximize your damage. Again, with the Dragon's Nests, you can easily just take out this Dragon's Haste and replace it with something else. You do have power transfer as an option to max out your crit chance and stuff like that as well. Anything that you could find just to kind of crank up the DPS there. Vampiric Empowerment, power transfer, even just a crit damage shard as well would help you out too. Just increase that damage up as much as you possibly can. But buff beam, boosted beam, mass destruction, fusion, boost aura. Again, it's mostly just utility, boosted blockade, destructive pylon, range pylon. I think everybody already knows about the wall, but here you go, quick little overview for the wall. You can pause the video if you have to. Again, Dragon's Nest here. Definitely see what happens and give this a try for yourselves. See whether or not if this tactic works for you. I know for a fact that the way that a lot of people used to build before is that they wouldn't actually have any protection for their wall, and then they wouldn't be given the wall any extra HP either, because they wouldn't actually be placing a boost aura next to their trading dummies. Again, they would just be spamming down a build here and letting this cover all the lanes. But because of the fact that not only have you guys had we've had a range nerf, we've got a damage nerf as well. So it'll take these guys longer to DPS stuff down, even if you basically build it like this. My advice to as many people as possible anyway, well, especially give it a try anyway and see what happens. Again, simply wall down, reflect beam, boost aura, bring it back as far as you possibly. I would say bring it back as far as you possibly can. Just make sure it clips this guy. Do not put your dragons next to the boost aura. Make sure they are behind the boost aura. Otherwise, you'll have these will get disabled at some points, and you kind of don't want that. And then just simply place the buff beam on top of it. I obviously had more DU here that I could place down 2 more dragons in each lane. On this map anyway, I was able to. But I definitely wanted to showcase it with just 2 dragons right now, because there's some maps out there where it's just 2 dragons. It is that I'm I'm only able to place 2 dragons down in those lanes. Excuse me. Sorry. It's early in the morning, not long just having coffee and stuff like that. So I just wanted to quickly pump out a quick little video for y'all on the dragons. Feel free, leave your hate comments down below, or give me your feedback and let me know whether or not if this particular way kind of worked for you. If it didn't, well, the only advice is that I could say to you is you need to put more work into your Countess then. You're going to need to get her cranked up. You're going to need to make sure that the relic that you're using is squared away. I mean, the biggest thing I could say for anybody and everybody is the getting your boost aura done and your buff beam done is probably is the main thing that you could do before really trying to prioritize getting a main relic done, because out of all the metas that there is within this entire game, the biggest meta is buff beams and boost auras. So I mean, like, you cannot viably give yourself the options to say, well, I'm just going to use a boost aura, or I'm just going to use a buff beam, because of, you know, your maximized your full power that you've basically got within the heroes that you've got. You know, like, say, you know, like, are you always somebody that has to maximize, you know, by having a buff beam and a boost aura down within your build? Well, if that's how you play, it's probably a good idea to make sure that these guys are squared away first before you consider trying to maximize your other relics, because you can't really maximize the potential of your relic without first maximizing how far you can actually take that DPS, right? Like how far you can get that defense power cranked up there. Apologize, I was just kind of rambling there for a little bit. I just noticed, like, this video's going on 20 minutes already. I do apologize for the ramble. Again, give it a try, see how it works out for you. Give me all your hate comments or your positive feedback. Give me all your hate and let me know with the dragons. I mean, I'll tell you as honestly as it is for somebody like myself. The changes to not only the damage but the range as well. I mean, it just didn't affect me whatsoever. I'm still using them exactly the same way as I would before. There's no change for how it is I particularly use these. I don't really stack dragons the way that everybody else is probably used to doing. I always prefer to build them like this, because it's the extra added safety of not only, like, the extra safety of having the extra HP and the protection with the boost aura it's too valuable, especially if when I'm playing in groups with people. It's just reassurance, you know. Nothing's going to get past this. Like, I've already done this with a full squad and that as well, so it's totally fine. It was one of the things that we had a look over while I was streaming. You can catch me over on the Twitches as well, twitch.tv/original Omni. Thanks again for coming and chilling out and watching the video. I do apologise if it was a long one. I do appreciate if you sat and watched the full thing, but we will catch you all later. In the wonderful world that is etheria. My nests. Oh no! Oh, the hairs. Oh. Just use nimbuses, or better yet, just bust out your pufferfish, man. What you all doing with yourselves? Pufferfish for days. Pufferfish. Ew. Bye. Ew. Bye.